So what's up, everybody? Today Jesse was kind enough to submit his videos to me, and remember, if you want your videos submitted, make sure you guys send them to videos@judosilencer.com. So I got my coffee here. We're all ready to go to get into this, but to give you a little bit of background on what Jesse sent me, let me kind of read you a brief transcript of the email here. And Jesse is a 205 green belt from Wisconsin. His dad and him are huge fans, so thank you guys very much. That really means a lot to me. I feel like my career was ages ago, so the fact that people still know who I am, it kind of touches on like me as a player, and it really shows how many lives I was actually able to touch as an athlete. So he has two videos here submitted for us. Basically, he's an orange belt at the time of competing at this event. It's his second judo tournament ever, and after winning his division, he competed in the advanced division. These are the two matches he's posting. One match is against the brown belts, and the other match is against the green belts. Haven't competed in a judo tournament since, so this is the last tournament I did with judo footage. Though I'm a two-stripe white belt in BJJ. So congrats, Jesse, on doing two sports to really become a well-rounded grappler. Let's see here. So yeah, that's pretty much what he sent me. I'm super excited to get into these videos. So let's start match one. Let's go into the brown belt match here. So we got Jesse here with the blue belt, fighting some guy with a lot of hair. Jesse, we got a posture. Got to stand up. Can't push your butt back. What? Okay, we got to stop it right here. When I'm doing these breakdowns, it's really important for you guys to understand, and just so you know where I'm coming from, because when I watch matches like this, I coach everybody a little bit differently, and we are all at different stages of judo. So you can't talk to novice, beginner judo players, judoka, as if they are at the Olympic Games fighting for the Olympic Championships. They're in different stages of their career, and it's my job when I'm giving this feedback to give it in such a way that represents you as a judo player so that you can improve to get better. So things I'm telling Jesse here that he needs to work on may contradict things I've told other people, but that's just because they're at different stages of their career. So for Jesse in this particular instance, our feet are crossed, like just right here. Like if I pull up an arrow here, like that's not good. That's not a good stance change. We got our right hand on the gi with our right foot forward. It makes everything super vulnerable to be thrown to that side. And you can see just because this guy actually did do that. He wasn't able to capitalize on it as he should have, but it's something to pay attention to. When you're first starting out as a judo player, you always want to make sure you pick a side. You're either left-handed or you're right-handed. And I know all of you people in the comments that are watching this are probably going to try to eat me alive for saying that, but we do not listen to outliers when we talk about giving strategies for people to follow, or just rules in general to follow. And Jesse's a prime example here, where if you're left-handed, you're left-handed. If you're right-handed, you're right-handed, and you stick to the basics and you learn it and you master it, and it's the easiest way to success. There are some players that are able to change left and right-sided, but like I said, there's outliers. There's, like, if you had to take a look at the number of world medalists, we'll say, and the number of Olympic medalists, and put them all on a sheet of paper and say, does this person left-handed, or is this person right-handed, or is this person both? The number of times you would see both would be very few. So it does exist. I'm not saying it's not impossible to be a good judo player while doing it. I'm just saying it's a lot less likely, because it's a lot harder to develop. And so I'm actually not sure which side he is right now, but either way, his feet are crossed, and it's not a good sign. But here we go. At least we're transitioning, so we got that going for us. I like that. You're using that BJJ. Oh, you're cranking it right across the face. How is this ref letting this go? Oh, you let it go. That's why. But hey, I'm all for it. Transition, make it hurt. you know, make that guy struggle, make him force that. Don't say sorry. That's part of the sport. It is what it is. But we got to work on this posture. It's not jiu-jitsu. You got to stand up. Hands up. Guys, listen. Hands, if they are below your chest, it is not good. Like that's a wrestling stance or a jiu-jitsu stance because people can shoot on your legs. So you want to be able to pummel those underhooks in that scenario. We do judo. We protect our collars and our sleeves. Collars, sleeves, hands up so that you can do that. Don't drop them. And the biggest thing beginners make, and even a lot of intermediate players, right? They put their hands up, but then they bend, and now their hands are inherently not able to block the collars. So chest up, hands up, so that you can defend yourself. Oh, Jesse's is he a lefty? Wait. Right. See, this is where we run into trouble with changing of stances because it's hard for a coach because I'm not even just watching this. I'm not sure if I should be coaching him as a righty or coaching him as a lefty. Like he kind of did a left shot there, but now he's got his right foot forward. Well, now it looks like he wants to stand lefty, but this guy is with the dreads is pretty much a righty. So that left hand should be just shooting in and posting on that chest or taking his sleeve down or cross gripping with the right to throw a hard left so that you can start breaking down that arm. When you switch back and forth, it's hard to wear your opponent down to a point where you can throw him. Well, this guy's got some... I don't think he realizes his fingers are blocking the camera. Don't block my view. Oh, you're blocking my view.
Professor! Jesse, Professor!
I don't know what that means. Is that like a special technique? Okay, I can get on board with dragging him down. You got a little bit of jiu-jitsu. Let's wrist control. I love it. But there's not enough shoulder pressure down. You got to drive him into the mat as hard as you can. Guys, in almost all grappling sports, wrestling, BJJ, judo, when you're on your feet should be moving. You got to create some movement, create some motion. Don't just stand in front of people and be a target. Again, you're starting off as that righty, and it's hard to take shots when you're trying to change your stances so much. Let's see, what do we got here? You guys, you can't just give things up, okay? You can never just settle. And there's a difference between trying to lull somebody into something and just flat out just being like, you know what, like just have it. Yeah, like I don't want to fight for it. And I kind of feel like that's what you're doing here, Jesse. Is you kind of just giving up things, and it makes it difficult. And what I mean by that is right here. Like if you guys can see that arrow where Jesse is just, that guy has just reached out and he just took that sleeve, like flat out, he just grabbed it, right? And like I didn't see like a rip to a post. I didn't see you hit it off. I didn't see you use that right hand in an offensive manner. And you can't just give things. And it's not like you tugged it and then snatched his sleeve and threw a hard left and started working towards like an Uchimata or a head and arm tile or anything of that nature. So don't give things up ever. Fight for every inch. It's a combat sport. Oh, let's get rid of this arrow. It's in the way. Okay, we got two hands. Now we got to use it. There you go.
Uchimata, Jesse, Uchimata.
Don't let go of your grips, guys. Guys. Oh. You had two hands on the gi. You had two hands on the gi. Why would you let it go? Why would you do that? There was no reason for it. Oh, look at that. It's so nice. You're underneath. Like, it's not very high, but you two are bent over, so at least it's under. You got the sleeve. It's down below your waist, which means you're creating off balance for pressure. Like, things are in your favor so much right now. But why would you let it go? Oh. And I think that's a big difference between a lot of high-level people and even moderately high-level people. That difference factor, right? Where they know, like, oh, I have a winning dominant grip right now. The throw is not available, but I am still winning, right? And when you have that, it's important to stay patient because you can mentally wear somebody down where they're gonna play really defensive, which gets them the Shido, which is great for you, or B, they try to make an adjustment to get into a better position. And when they do that, that will be your time to attack. And it only comes through learning. So it doesn't surprise me that I'm seeing it here because it is something that you learn just through like watching tapes and, you know, kind of doing what we're doing right here with the coach or a mentor or somebody you got back home to be able to point those things out to you and notice them. Because right here, this whole match, you haven't really been in a situation where you were underneath, you had two hands, and you have room to play. And what I mean by room to play is if this edge is here, as a lefty, you need to move in the direction of your throw, which is opposite to the other side of the mat, right? Like, Jesse, you want to be shuffling to your right now, not to your left out of bounds. So the fact that your opponent can't shuffle to his right, your left, that's an advantageous thing because now, in order for him to move, he's either A, got to run out of bounds, which gets you a Shido, or B, he shuffles the other way and it's into the power of your attack, amplifying your throw, right? So there are just so many good things here. But we just let it go. Not only did you let it go, you let go with both your hands and let him keep the collar.
Go for it, get up and do it again.
And then we went back to right-sided. Like, I just don't know if you're a righty or a lefty. What are we doing?
Bounce a little bit, Jesse. Bounce on your toes.
There you go, chest up. Okay, there you go. Okay, good post inside. You're good. There you go. Oh, your head's got to be up, Uchimata, though. You can't bend. No. Oh, that leg grab was there, though. Too bad we're doing judo. And you got to work on the ground.
Jesse,
You've got to.
Ochigari, then Tanya Tosh. Let's go.
I don't know if I agree with that. Because if you're doing Ochi-Kochi, your partner's consistently moving back, and Tanya Toshi is done by faking forward to throw backwards. So if he's reacting backwards to get out, then you're ending up chasing, and it's hard to fit in for that Tanya Toshi. But maybe it's something you guys have worked on, so it could work. Ugh. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of deserve that. Like, it just is what it is. And pause, let's go back. And part of that is just because you do jiu-jitsu, and it's just, those are your reactions. But right here, let's see if I can get these arrows in here. Let's go up, left, there we go. So, this is okay. That's an okay grip. It is what it is. The grip you're not addressing, though, is the one above it, the cross grip. That guy's cross grip is your, like, kryptonite right now, because you can't ever create a ball in judo. things that are created into balls can roll very easily, and therefore your back can hit the floor. Things that are very hard to flip over are things like boards and, like a 2x4 that's like completely vertical. Like if you try to pick it up from its end, it's very heavy. And in this type of situation, your hand actually coming over his back here is creating a ball. Like you can see the roundness in your body right here. I mean, it does have some points, but it's still like that arm being able to reach over like that is creating a circle that, is pushing your butt back, which opens up the koichi. Even the ouchi here, or even a drop seio, or an osoto, like sleeve cross grip osoto. Just the dog. Anyways. And that's where you're going to really start to run into trouble. So a better solution for me is the understanding of like the rules of judo of saying like, look, you got a cross grip, you have to throw me in 3 to 5 seconds or you have to let it go. So the rule of thumb is if they're cross gripping you, cross grip them right back, right? If you take this hand right here and you put it in front of his face on his chest and you just push him away and post on his chest, that cross grip, he's going to have a hard time yanking you around the mat. And then once he lets go, it's easy to take that left hand and put it on the collar. Now you have sleeve collar control and you can start going to work. I might have to shoot a separate video on that for everybody here watching this, just the people on YouTube, just so that you can get a better understanding of what I mean when I say that. But that's kind of the issue I'm seeing right here. But in hindsight, really, the big takeaway I'm seeing here is you're not transitioning all the time. You're only transitioning some of the time. You need to pick a side. You're either left-handed or you're right-handed, and you need to stick to it because it's the only real way to improve. If you cut a corner and go, well, this person's easier to fight this side and this person's easier to fight that side, you're just cutting the corner. You're not really developing as a judoka. So left-handed, right-handed, pick your throws so that you can run into problems and then work through them as you get better. But he did say that, it's only his second tournament and he did, go into the advanced division. So we got to give him props for that. But let's jump into his second match here. Let's see what we got. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you can't bend over though. But we said that in the other video, so let's not be too picky here. Camera guy, fingers. There you go. See, now we got a left hand post, sleeve grip. Don't change your stances. Ugh. You're killing me, Jesse. Oh, good sleeve control, though. Good, good. We're moving our feet more this match. We're not just standing there. Pause. Pause. Okay. So right here, basically this guy has your neck, even though you're underneath. He kind of has that elbow dipped inside. When that happens, okay, you need to pull in as hard as you can. Don't push away. I know it sounds like a backwards way of doing it, but when people bend that elbow inside and you're still underneath, you can pinch their arm right here inside this distance, and then when you shrug it, it actually breaks that grip and throws them forward. And then what happens is when they come back to reset that hand, it opens up your ability to attack. And that's pretty much what I'd be trying to do here if I was in your shoes and I had a lefty, because I'm a righty, grabbing me in that particular position. Oh, see, that guy did a good job of coming inside and getting your neck. Now, right here, we are in a perfect competition scenario where it is super important to learn how to use the edges of a mat. Okay, it's not just about who can throw who. It's about using the area in order to open up our partner and create motion and dynamics within the match. And basically, this edge right here, your opponent's back is to it and they're within a step. So whenever I get inside this range where my opponent's back is there, as a lefty, you would really want to be moving to this back corner so that your partner has to shuffle in this direction over here to get out. Okay? So you would want to shuffle to your left, forcing your opponent to slide down that edge and off of it at the same time. So when he creates that spin, it's into the power of your throw. Or you could pressure him by just pumping and faking with your hands in order to get him to kind of just walk out of bounds all by himself. Okay? So, and I wouldn't expect you to know this if this is just your second tournament. This is just for people in general watching this video to understand that there's more that goes into this than, hey, push them out of bounds, because sometimes that's not what you want. Sometimes it's a good thing to have happen, but it's not the best thing to have happen. So let's see what happens here while we're on this edge. Oh, you got to keep the head up and hips forward. I mean, you were doing stuff, so I don't really understand that, but you know, it's a local tournament. You're not really supposed to understand why certain rules are called. They're learning as referees, just like we're learning as athletes, and you're not an Olympic level athlete, and he's not an Olympic level ref, so mistakes happen, and everybody's just trying to learn and get better and promote the sport. So you can't knock local referees that much. At least they're there and we're able to compete. But I did miss that pinning opportunity, so I do want to go back and see what happened. Oh, okay. Newaza. Oh. Anyways, the only reason why you missed this was just due to lack of control, and it happened right off the start where right here where I can see you poking your hand here to go underhook, which is perfect. The part where you lost it was your left hand didn't cross face, so that your hands can cross, right? That way this one's underneath the arm, the right one, and the left one is across his face so that he can't do anything. You went, which makes sense, and this is why you don't mix sports, you went the jiu-jitsu route where a BJJ black belt that doesn't understand judo will tell you, hey, side control is best when you can pull up on the elbow and put it up on your thigh, because then it's really tight. Not true. Hence why he got out. It does have its applications in jiu-jitsu, but for judo, it has no application. It's actually 100% irrelevant. And you can watch Jesse here, right there, where your grip actually settles over the top of his head. Right? Like you went over and you tried to grab that tricep area, armpit grip. Let me back this arrow up just so that we can kind of all follow along here. And right here, like you're not cross-facing. And when you're not cross-facing, you're not pushing your partner and your butt back to get him sucked in nice and tight. And it just allows him to kind of bench and squirm and push. And see, you're holding on to that tricep. There's not a good cross-face. Yeah, you're starting to cross-face. But you're stuck in half guard. You missed the underhook. You didn't flatten him out. You didn't get your head posted on the mat. But all things that, like, they're basics, but they do take years of drilling to be able to pull it off in a live competition scenario. I mean, even people on our national team mess it up because they can't do it right. Why is this guy's back turned? And why'd we bow? Jesse, I'm gonna go with your lefty. Don't do anything more right-handed. You're a lefty. You trying to do Sode right now? Nope. I'm okay with that because you do have a little bit of groundwork. You almost won on the ground. Bringing it down to the ground can, you know, be good for you. So I'm actually okay with that. Glad to see that guy almost split his legs though too. It's nice to see like good solid Newazi exchanges. Speed this up a little bit. We don't need to watch them tie their belts. Okay. You're standing like a righty though. It's killing me. Okay. Okay. You got the belt. You got the belt. Big throw. Keep driving. You can't just stop though. You have to finish it. You have to. Once you attack, you drive and drive and drive and drive and drive, and then you keep driving until you either get the score or that ref stops you. Like, don't just, well, I didn't get Ippon. No, drive through it. Keep driving. Keep driving. Go again. Okay. Jesse, this has nothing to do with you. I feel like I've been picking on you this whole time, and I don't mean to. But this drives me nuts when I see judo people do this. It drives me nuts. Guys, we wear a gi for a reason. You should be grabbing it to use it. That is the whole point here. We do not wrestle. That collar tie is useless. All he's really doing is pushing you with his forearm instead of being able to grab and really crank in and break your posture. Like if I ever felt somebody like that, I'd just throw my hand around the back, shuck it off my head, and then bring my hips across for a big ogoshi. Because he's not holding on to anything. Like he's got no power. Let me rephrase that. He has no power in the sense of somebody who has a grip. Like you'll always have more leverage than he will with no grip. But yeah, don't do that, people. Grab the gi. I mean, he ends up settling anyways for it. Okay, we got two hands. We're in a left-handed stance. I like that. Now let's just use it. Okay. We got another thing here we got to point out as... Let me see if I can... There. Let's pause it right there, and then let's take this arrow. That is way too low on the chest. Look at that hand placement. I can see, like, he's underneath the arm, but I can actually... You can see his hand below his armpit. Like, think about how low that is on the chest here. This hand should be up here. It's almost like a good 6 to 8 inches too low. You've got to fight for that hand and get that pinky up here in that collarbone so that you can be offensive. And it just comes from practicing gripping and positioning and movement at your club. It's not just about fighting and doing randori. It's about fighting to get to particular positions so that you can throw. Don't just look for the throw. Fight for the position for everything. Every position you have to fight for. Transition! Well, that took a long time to call. I don't know why he was confused about that. But hey, it's a local competition. It happens. I'm assuming he just pins him for opponent here. Yeah, so he pins him for opponent, and so yeah, let's just go right back. And so Jesse, you've got to just pick a side. You left-handed, right-handed, doesn't matter to me, but pick one and get really good at it. And I understand some people are going to be more difficult than others. Most righties really struggle with lefties just because there's less of them. So you have an advantage of being a lefty if you feel more comfortable in that particular stance. If you feel more comfortable as a righty, then fight as a righty and you'll just struggle with lefties for the most part. Kind of just a general rule to follow. The other thing is you got to work on your posture and you got to work on your hand positioning. You don't just grab the gi to grab it. When you're fighting as a lefty against a righty, the person with the under grip is always winning, not the one on top. The person with the hand underneath the arm on the collar is always winning. But if that hand drops too low, it turns into like a 50-50, and you don't want that. You want that hand up nice and high. So start fighting more for positions rather than just fighting to be able to get good attacks off. And you'll find that you're able to attack more often if you focus on the position rather than the throw. Okay? So thank you guys for stopping by. That's my video analysis here for episode number 3. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And if you guys want your videos broken down, make sure you guys email them into videos@judosilencer.com. That email is completely up and running. As long as you send it in, it doesn't really matter what format. But if you're going to film something in the future to send to me, try to make sure you do it in landscape mode. Okay? Don't iPhone it vertically. It doesn't show enough, and it makes it really jittery for people to follow. So just try to get it in that horizontal landscape mode for me. And then if you guys haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And leave a comment in the section below if you found anything in this video helpful. What you guys are finding helpful really helps me to just give better content and really give back to the community here on YouTube. So thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comments.